Here we are, Thanksgiving week, and I've been seeing videos from different MAGA supporters who now their families have disowned them and they do not have a place to go for Thanksgiving.
On this special Thanksgiving, I'd like for everybody to take a moment and just reflect on things that we're thankful for. And I thank you first of all for our family and friends, but most important for Donald J. Trump, who's going to get this country back on track.
All right.
MAGA family, I still haven't found anywhere to go for Thanksgiving. I reached out to some people that commented on my post from the Pennsylvania, South Jersey area, and I got no reply, which kind of really hurts my heart because I reached out to like a couple people and no one replied. And honestly, I feel like I'm not going to have anyone to spend Thanksgiving with.
Guess who got uninvited to Thanksgiving dinner? You guessed it. Me.
My sister just uninvited me from Thanksgiving just because I voted for cheap eggs, and it's bullshit!
I'm going to say this as gently as I can. As a reminder, we are in this position because Thanksgiving 2015, a lot of you said, pass the gravy, when what you needed to say is, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving this year. Or maybe something like, get the F out of my house. And this year you will share your casserole with people who need to just have the taste slapped out of their mouths. Food for thought.
MAGA Trump supporters have effed around. Now they're finding out. They're finding out that family members are pissed. They're finding out that the season of effing around is actually now over, and it's the season of finding out. They're finding out that they are no longer welcomed to sit at the table with fellow family members. It's Thanksgiving, a time for families to come together, enjoy that turkey, and give thanks, to the Lord, and also for what has happened for them and what they have achieved, during the course of the year. But now, many MAGA Trump supporters are being cancelled and uninvited for Thanksgiving this year, just because they voted for Trump. As MAGA F around find out season heats up, many families across the country are drawing the lines in the sand, choosing shared values over shared meals. Now, is this the ultimate fallout for political polarization, or just karma coming home for the holidays? Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for choosing us today. If you are new, kindly consider subscribing and leaving me a comment at the end of this video. So let's dive into why some MAGA folks are finding their Thanksgiving plans cancelled on them by their families. I have a lot of videos I've compiled for you guys to check out. I'm gonna be back with more commentary.
Here we are, Thanksgiving week, and I've been seeing videos from different MAGA supporters who now their families have disowned them and they do not have a place to go for Thanksgiving. So let me just say, wherever you end up eating, I want your turkey to be dry. I want your greens to be sweet. I want your yams to be salty. I want your deviled eggs to be runny. I want the dressing to not have any sage in it. I want your black-eyed peas to not have any black eyes. I want the Kool-Aid that you find to be refreshing to have 0 sugar in it. When you take a sip of your Dr. Pepper, may it turn into Dr. Thunder. And if you find yourselves around a spades table, may you be set every hand. I ask all of this in me, a petty bitch. Happy Thanksgiving. You fucked around and found out. I hope your DiGiorno is delicious.
With all these fuck around and find out stories, there seems to be like this misunderstanding as to why people are cutting off family members, not wanting to talk to people, not coming for the holidays. Listen to this story and see if you see what I'm saying. My 3 daughters all voted for Harris in Oregon, a state that gave all its electoral college votes to Harris. 2 of them have now stopped speaking to me. And 1 is boycotting Thanksgiving because I voted for Trump. I did not tell them how to vote, nor ever presume to argue or convince them that they are misled by propaganda. I let them vote how they wish. Very kind of him that he let them vote, by the way. He let them vote how they wish. It sucks that I must now suffer their childish and frankly rude behavior merely because they believe my one vote harmed them or their rights in some way. Liberalism really is a mental disorder. Okay, sir, and anyone else that seems to have this thought process. We do not think your one vote is what mattered. It is that your morals seem to align with this man. You voted for somebody who is repugnant, who is morally against everything that we believe in. And as we are now seeing with his cabinet picks, his tariffs, all the things he is doing now, we know that we are right in this. So no, it is not because you let them vote. It is not because that they are misled or that they believe your one vote harmed them. It is because you do not support them, your daughters. You did not stand up for their rights. That is why, that you do not love them enough to be able to recognize the person that you voted for. And lastly, to the kind gentleman that recognized me at the DFW airport today, I am sorry that I am awkward in real life. Sometimes I speak on here out to the void and I forget people watch it. So thank you. That made my day.
It's the holiday season. How do we handle being around MAGA family members? Is cutting them off going too far? Hi, my name is Keegan and I'm an expert in the psychology of politics. Now let's say you choose to be around or have no choice but to be around Trump-supporting family members this holiday season. Unless you enjoy arguing just for the sake of arguing, which is its own video, you need to accept you won't be changing their minds. He just won, they're riding high, and without personally feeling the negative effects of Trump 2.0's policies, they won't be changing their minds. So frankly, if politics comes up, you're probably going to have to get up and walk away. Pack your earbuds and try to detach yourself emotionally. But get real though, I just cut these people out of my life. And I'd say the same about not just MAGA people, but nasty people in general. Life is too short. Just because someone is blood related to me does not make them special. I don't want to be spending my limited time on this planet with people who care more about their selfish emotions than they do about the well-being of other people, who lack empathy and compassion, who are mentally lazy and don't care about facts, or are just closed-minded, angry, hateful people. You have permission to kick these people out of your life.
Happy Thanksgiving. I can't wait for the whole world to spend time with their family.
Not everybody's going to have a happy Thanksgiving this year.
Why would someone not have a happy Thanksgiving? Now's the time for family bonding.
Well, divorce rates at an all-time high.
Good.
People are more divided than ever.
Good.
People are cutting off their family members.
If you cut off your family members, then you're the problem. You should never cut off your family!
The people that typically say never cut off your family members doesn't have toxic family members that they can't be around.
But at the end of the day, you should always forgive your family members. No matter what happens, they're still family.
Okay, so if somebody's horrible to you over and over again and you keep forgiving them, then what do you do?
Then you forgive them one more time! They didn't mean it!
This shows that you've never had to deal with this in your life.
Well, of course, my family's not divorced and I received love my entire life. I've never been brutally betrayed by a family member repeatedly over and over again.
I think it's better to understand that people have differences, and it's just better to acknowledge that not everyone's going to be having a happy Thanksgiving and that some people will be alone.
They should pick up the phone, call their family, and make amends. I'm trying to be positive, but everybody else is being negative.
This is just the reality of America now.
What, people spending the holidays alone or in small groups? What's the solution then?
I guess we'll have to figure that out together.
After listening to what you had to say, I think that is too late! Back in 2025! I can never tell somebody else's situation could be different than mine.
Happy Thanksgiving to those spending it alone or with a small group of people. With the divorce rate at an all-time high, it's hard to get families together during these times. I just wanted to say you are important, you matter. I hope you have a great day on the day of Thanksgiving. You matter, you are important, you are loved, you are loved. Have a great day on the day of Thanksgiving.
You're too fucking stupid. Am I the asshole for walking out of Thanksgiving dinner? The table was perfectly set, but the tension was already thick as Kurt and I sat down for Thanksgiving dinner. My Uncle Jack, 54, was at the head of the table, beer in hand, and his MAGA hat proudly perched on his head. My mother, who begged us to come, kept throwing me nervous glances, as if to say, "Please don't start anything." I tried, I really did, But the second the turkey was carved, Jack leaned back in his chair and smirked. So, Amy, how are my favorite liberals holding up? Still crying over the election, or have you finally joined the winning team? I put down my fork, my pulse quickening. We're fine, Jack, just trying to get through the year like everyone else. He chuckled. Must be tough with all those radical ideas falling apart. You know, some people say it's time folks like you toughen up. This country's going back to greatness, whether you like it or not. Kurt's jaw tightened, and I could tell he was ready to step in. But I wasn't about to let Jack steamroll me. Greatness? Are you serious? I said, my voice sharper than I intended. You're sitting here gloating while the country is on fire. Do you even know what's happening? What your hero was planning with Project 2025? Doctors terrified to treat patients because they're worried about lawsuits? Women bleeding out because they can't get basic care? Is that what you call greatness? Jack rolled his eyes, leaning back in his chair. Oh, come on. You're overreacting. Nobody's out here dying because of who's in office. I slammed my napkin down on the table. Really, Jack? What about your own daughter? Or did you conveniently forget how she had to drive 3 hours out of state last month because she started bleeding during her pregnancy? And the doctors here wouldn't treat her until they were sure it was ectopic. She could have died, Jack. But hey, at least your precious leader is saving babies, right? The room went dead. Jack's wife shifted uncomfortably, looking down at her plate, while my mom's mouth opened and closed like she didn't know whether to jump in or stay quiet. Jack's smirk faltered, but he recovered quickly. That's just one situation. You act like... One situation? My voice cracked. This isn't hypothetical, Jack. It's real, and it's only going to get worse. And guess what? It's not just me or Kurt who'll be affected. Do you even pay attention to what you're supporting? Union busting, Jack. That's going to hit your precious job at the factory hard. Cutting Medicare and Social Security. What's your retirement plan? Winning the lottery? Because the way things are going, you're not going to have anything left by the time you hit 65. And let's not forget inflation. You think groceries are expensive now? Give it another year. Jack's face reddened. Oh, so now you're a political expert. No, I'm someone who actually reads, I snapped. You're too fucking stupid to think this doesn't touch you because you're sitting in your little white bubble thinking that black and brown people are the problem, rooting for your team to win, completely unaware that they've tricked you to vote against your own self-interest. But trust me, Jack, when it hits you, don't come crying to me because you fucked around and found out. Kurt touched my arm under the table. Amy, let's go. No, wait, my mom interjected, her voice pleading. Can we all just calm down? Amy, I invited you here so we could find some common ground. I turned to her, tears threatening to spill. Mom, there's no common ground between me wanting to feel safe in my own country and people like Jack laughing at the idea of that. Jack muttered, here we go again. I rounded on him, shaking with anger. You know what, Jack? You're right. Here I go again. Standing up for what's right while you sit there in your stupid hat laughing at other people's pain. Enjoy your greatness. I stood, grabbed my coat, and Kurt close behind me. My mom called after me, her voice breaking. Amy, don't leave, please. I hesitated at the door. I came because I thought maybe things could change, that maybe family mattered more than politics, but I was wrong. As we walked to the car, the muffled sounds of arguing erupted from inside. My mom was trying to defend me. Jack, no doubt, was dismissing it all as me being too sensitive. In the car, Kurt squeezed my hand. You okay? No, I said honestly, but at least I know where I stand now. I wish I didn't go. Should I have kept my mouth shut and stayed? Am I the asshole? No, you're definitely not the asshole. I'm glad you stood your ground, because people like him need to be checked.
So, who remembers this guy from a video I made a couple weeks ago?
MAGA family, I was on TikTok Live, and a fellow Trump supporter said that all he needed was my vote. I'll never be part of the MAGA family, and that I'm black, I'll never be accepted, but he just got my vote. Nah, that's crazy.
Well, he's had a couple of updates since then, and one of them that I think is significant is this one.
MAGA family, you know why I'm MAGA? It's because the MAGA people have done more for me as a whole than black people, my own people, have ever done for me.
It's a family, one that treats him better than the black community ever has. Today's a day that a lot of people spend time with their family. How is he spending today?
MAGA family, I still haven't found anywhere to go for Thanksgiving. I reached out to some people that commented on my post from the Pennsylvania, South Jersey area, and I got no reply, which kind of really hurts my heart because I reached out to like a couple people and no one replied. And honestly, I feel like I'm not going to have anyone to spend Thanksgiving with.
And I'm guessing he's looking for somewhere to spend Thanksgiving because in the video just before this one, he posted about how he wasn't welcome at his brother's funeral. This kind of reminds me of a story from a couple of years back. A 19-year-old kid in South Florida did a peel out on a rainbow mural that was in the middle of a roadway for Pride Month in his lifted truck with his Trump flag flying. In fact, I believe he did it on Donald Trump's birthday. And he got arrested for that. And then the judge actually ended up sentencing him to writing a paper about all the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting. He had to actually look into each of their lives and kind of write a biography about all of them, which I thought was actually probably a pretty good way to go. In court, however, he cried. He cried and told the judge that he only did that because he had kind of gravitated toward Trump and MAGA because he was looking for acceptance and he felt like he was accepted by them. That's a tactic that street gangs use. That's a tactic that white supremacist groups use to recruit. We'll be your family now. If you go to a Comic-Con or a horror convention, you'll see all these people who have come there looking for their people, finding community. And in those cases, it's positive. But if someone doesn't find a positive family, they'll find the other one. And here's a tip. If the people who are accepting of you are hateful of others, there's a good chance they're going to turn on you eventually as well.
I like to try and meet people where they're at. So I'm actually going to show you something from Fox News.
People are taking some space in the Waters household.
Yes, that's Jesse Waters. He got uninvited to Thanksgiving by his own mommy.
I'll have you know that I was not invited to my mother's house for Thanksgiving.
Is the fuck your feelings crowd having some feelings about not being invited for some pumpkin pie and racist stereotypes about Indians this year? Oh no.
Apparently there wasn't enough room.
Okay, no, that's angry white woman for you are not welcome here, but I cannot tell you why.
She said it was a scheduling situation.
But it's just the numbers, babe. Yeah, there was just not a seat at the kids' table this year for you. And you're a child, so you need to sit down, is what she just said.
Guess who got uninvited to Thanksgiving dinner? You guessed it. Me.
I'm gonna need some context. Because she never says in the video why her mom uninvited her. Let's check the comments for more details. Someone said, love this for you. They responded, hope you enjoy a Trump president. Ah, there it is. Imagine how disappointed she is. You support a racist and a rapist? I wouldn't want you around either. Also, I could literally give a F. I don't need my boss to win Best Man Ever award. I need to be able to afford to effing live. I'm not in a financial position to give a SHIT about social equity. You know he's gonna make things more expensive for you, right? It's hard for you to live right now, so you voted for a dude who's going to make your life harder. Okay.
Legitimately have pity for her, because if your mindset is at that state where you uninvite your daughter for Thanksgiving, I'm sorry. Truly, I'm sorry that your internal system is that dysregulated that you can't even be around me for a holiday.
Your mom doesn't want to be around a fascist who voted to strip herself of her own rights. And you literally just said in your comment that you don't care about anyone besides yourself. You don't care about black people who are going to face massive racism and the spread of white supremacy because of Trump's presidency. You don't care about the women who are going to be affected by this. It's only about you. And the worst part for me is it's not even like your life is going to get better. So your family doesn't want to talk to you anymore, and you voted to make your life worse. Great.
I just told my parents I'm not coming to Thanksgiving dinner. I said to my dad, I do not have the emotional energy to be around people who are not involved with their own healing, who are not authentic, who are fake, who have these different ideologies. I don't have the emotional availability to meet that this year, so I'm out. I can't come. Thankfully, I have a father who respects that, who didn't pressure me or push me or make me feel guilty. I know a lot of people don't have that. And I'm glad I'm finally listening to myself and not putting myself in situations that are just going to be so draining, and respecting this lower season that I'm in. Because so often I've had these low seasons and I've just pushed through everything and come out on the other side feeling worse and spiraling deeper. And now if I carve out the time to surround myself with spaces or places that at least don't steal energy from me, that's a win. So here's permission for holiday season. You don't have to go. If they're going to take something from you, you don't have to go.
Good afternoon. This message is for those that continue to DM and comment saying they're going home for the holidays. They don't know if they can be around their family. They need my sassiness, my encouragement, my empowerment. Come here, let me talk to you all. And hear me when I say this. Lean in. Fuck them people. Absolutely. I'm sick and tired of you all complaining about not wanting to go home to your families and still you go home. You need to go somewhere that regulates your nervous system, that does not cause you anxiety, that does not draw you to anger. If you want to argue at a table with somebody, go to a Denny's. Go to a Waffle House. You do not need to be at your family home. And the great thing about being grown, you can select your own family now. You do not have to go there. Okay? If you don't want to sit next to Uncle Ben's creepy ass, you don't have to. Do you hear me? If you don't want to talk to Miss Nancy about the latest political climate, you don't have to. You all keep putting yourselves in these situations and you just don't have to. I want you to find somewhere else to go. Okay? Listen to me, college students. If you feel like I have to go home because these are people that are paying my bills while I'm out. Okay, then you need to stay in your room. Okay, you don't have to be forced to be around these people. I'm not sure why you all don't understand that you don't have to be in situations you don't want to be in. Okay, and if they want to get all Christian like on you, tell them you're being like Jesus. Flip over the table and walk out. I'm sick and I'm tired. Fuck them people. Go somewhere else. Go where you are celebrated and not just tolerated. Thanks.
My brother and his fiance uninvited me from their wedding, and now I have the wonderful pleasure of uninviting them from holiday activities because they voted for Donald Trump. I just want to know what you guys think of the whole entire situation and if I'm being petty, if I'm being unreasonable. Just to give you guys a heads up, my brother gets free healthcare, my brother goes to school for free, and I helped him apply for all of those government programs. In addition to that, I gave my brother a free BMW SUV. He drives a free car. I pay for his car insurance and I pay for his cell phone bill. In addition to that, he lives at home and completely relies on the financial assistance of my mother. So this boy has the audacity to not only vote for Donald Trump, who is against women like myself and my mother, but then he has the audacity, after my mother was crying all day yesterday, he comes home celebrating his victory and rubbing it in my mom's face. Now, I understand we all have different opinions and political views, but you do not go to the home of a woman who financially supports you and rub it in her face. Go ahead, laugh about it with your friends, laugh about it with your unemployed fiance. It has now been over a month that I cut my brother off and I no longer answer his phone calls because the only reason he called me anyway was when he needed money. And I know that's really hard to do. And I know right now a lot of people are going to have some very uncomfortable Thanksgivings and Christmases. But at the end of the day, I really encourage you all to protect your peace. I'm not saying that you need to cut out every single person in your life that doesn't agree with you politically. But if after this election, someone is literally taunting you, laughing at your face, and disrespecting you, regardless of what political party they are a part of, that person doesn't need to be in your life.
The holidays are going to happen no matter what, you know, Thanksgiving or Indigenous Remembrance Day, it's happening. It's on the calendar. Christmas, Hanukkah, they're going to happen. New Year's Eve, it's going to happen. So if you want to opt out of spending any of those holidays in your traditional way with people whose values are abhorrent to you, you're not ruining the holidays. You can't ruin them. They're going to happen. People create new traditions all the time. I hope that you will. And anybody who says, oh my God, you're going to break family bonds over this? Yes, that is correct. A big aspect of Western patriarchy, even though it exists in Eastern systems as well, is unexamined reflexive loyalty to the parents. Please feel empowered to deconstruct that, along with all the other toxic theology that you got fed growing up.
You do not need to spend Thanksgiving with your MAGA relatives. You can, in fact, opt out. Here's the lowdown. I live with my mother. We have a great relationship. We are both very anti-schmump. And I had asked, can you please not invite your brother this year and his wife to Thanksgiving? Every year, it's an issue. They show up, they don't contribute. My mom complains. It's a whole thing. But the key point here this year, though, is that they are gold star schmumpty dumpties. So I don't want to be around them. So I asked. But ultimately, my grandmother wants them there. It's her son. And my mom is going to listen to what her mother wants and respect that because she's in her 80s. And I'm like, fair. You're hosting, you're doing the work, you get to decide who you want to invite. I, however, can choose to just not be there. So this year, I was telling my besties in the chat that I was going to take my kids and I up and away to Universal Studios Hollywood because we have annual passes and it's open that day for us to go. Let's just go do our own fun thing. And then my bestie was like, hey, I actually need someone to adopt me and my 3-year-old son this year for Thanksgiving. Her husband is working. She is a nurse. She's normally working. And I was like, you know what? How about we do our own chaotic kids Thanksgiving at your place? I'll come over. We'll make some pizza. We'll make some dino nuggets. We'll have a time of it. We'll drink some wine. And she was like, I am so down. So this year, I'm doing my own fun Thanksgiving, and it's going to be great. So just know you can just not go. You can just say no. You can just stay home by yourself if you need to. Get your favorite food, put on your favorite movie, and have a time. Protect your peace.
For anybody who needs any last-minute encouragement, I loved this tweet. It says, here's how to deal with your MAGA family this Thanksgiving. What you're going to do is you're going to offer to lead the family in prayer, and you're going to talk about a Bible verse specifically when you do it. So you're going to open the Bible, you're going to read Leviticus 19 verses 33 to 34. It reads as follows: when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Amen. And then I think the second part of the tweet, obviously Walter is talking about how you could also bring up how Jesus was a socialist. Was it King Arthur, or one of the kings was gay? King Arthur? Was it King Arthur? King Herod? I don't know. One of the kings was gay. There's a lot of different ways that you can spice this up. Obviously, my go-to is always that Jesus was a socialist. And also there's a verse about how the rich cannot inherit the kingdom of God and the poor people go to heaven first. That's also a good one. Happy Thanksgiving.
With the holidays coming up, a lot of people are now looking at the expectation that they will sit across a table, make polite chit-chat, and break bread with people who voted to take away the rights of marginalized people. Don't. If you're in a position to do so, uninvite those people. If you're not in that position, don't go. They are not entitled to your company. It doesn't matter if they've claimed to love you in the past. If they voted to take away your rights, they do not care about you, and they are not welcome. Don't sit at the table with them because you think you can persuade them. Don't even sit at the table with them because you want to confront them. These are grown adults who have had every opportunity to change, to learn, to see others as human beings, to have empathy, and they have chosen not to. They are not worth 1 ounce of your energy. Spend your holidays with people who actually care about you.
Hey y'all, it's me, all in good fun. And Thanksgiving's coming up. So this is number 4 in my FAFO series. You effed around with your vote. Now you're going to find out what's coming next. So with Thanksgiving coming, some of y'all might be a little bit upset that your Thanksgiving table is going to be a little smaller this year than usual because some of your family and friends, they don't want to come because the way you voted. Well, now I know what you must be thinking. That's so petty. That's so small. It's just a vote. We're still family, or we've been friends for 20 years. This is the time to give thanks. Well, maybe they're not feeling so thankful because maybe they feel like you voted against them. So if you have any friends or family who are women of childbearing years, maybe they're upset that you voted against their ability to get safe reproductive medical care during their pregnancy. You voted against them. Or maybe you have a friend or family member who's gay, who just wants the ability to love whoever they want to love, marry who they want, but you just voted against their ability to do that. Or maybe you got a family member or a friend who has diabetes or asthma or some other chronic condition, and you just voted against their ability to get affordable health care through the ACA, otherwise known as Obamacare, the thing that MAGA wants to get rid of. So you voted against your family's health care. Or maybe you just voted against your older family members, people my age who collect Social Security and maybe also a pension. And they're scared about losing their Social Security, especially the ones who also have a pension that they paid into, just like they paid into Social Security. But now the government wants to take away some of their Social Security just because they also have a pension. So all those years of planning for their older years, well, all down the toilet. And you voted for that. So I guess, you know, they might have a reason they don't want to come. But here's the bright side. We got to look at the bright side of everything. You're going to have a smaller table at Thanksgiving, so your groceries, they're not going to cost as much. I'm all in good fun.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to say a few things. I still see a lot of MAGA gloating that Trump won. He won 50% of the popular vote. He won all the swing states. And the way some of MAGA are saying, it's kind of like, it doesn't matter if Kamala came close. You guys don't matter. What matters is that Trump won. We matter. You don't matter. You have to obey Trump or whatever. You have to bow down because you guys lost and we won, right? This is what MAGA is saying. The interesting is, today's Thanksgiving, most MAGA are uninvited from their families. A lot of MAGAs have received divorce papers because the spouses don't want to be around them. Am I happy because families are being broken? I'm not happy about any of that. But what did you guys win? Why are you gloating? If you really won, if really most of the country were happy about Trump and really wanted Trump to win, why are most of you MAGAs alone today? Or some of you still have a little bit of family, but you guys are not invited to go to even your mom's house, your grandma's house. I've seen a lot of videos of you crying, shocked. You wanted this man back. There's a lot of hate, racism, misogyny that comes along. Not everyone is obligated to have you over. It doesn't sit well. It's tough. Even if you're not gonna gloat, you're still gonna say, listen, it's gonna come up. Politics will come up. And people don't wanna deal with you. Funny because a lot of you are alone today in MAGA. But Trump didn't invite you to Mar-a-Lago, did he? Have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, folks, we know that politics can actually divide some people, but it never gets to this extent with families, actually. And this year is just something else. As we have seen in these videos, families have been divided, especially through political, views and points. People do not want to share a table this Thanksgiving with Red Party family members. And this is quite sad because we have seen so many Trump supporters who are actually coming up online and saying that their families have been actually canceling on them and inviting them to Thanksgiving dinner because they voted for the Red Party or they voted for Trump, which actually is not the same as their values. So many families are choosing to have shared values than shared meals. In the past, there used to be elections. People go to elections, they disagree. At the end of the day, they agree. Okay, the government has been voted in. We have to deal with it and cope with it for the next 4 years. And, they stay friends if they're friends. They stay family members if they're family members. But this year is actually very, very different because MAGA Trump supporters have effed around. Now they're finding out. They're finding out that family members are pissed. They're finding out that the season of effing around is actually now over and it's the season of finding out. They're finding out that they're no longer actually welcomed to sit at the table with fellow family members. We have seen mothers not inviting their own daughters. We have seen fathers not inviting their own sons. People are being cancelled, especially MAGA Trump supporters. They're being cancelled this Thanksgiving. And they have been crying out and not actually understanding why they are suffering this for just voting for a red party. You know, in their opinion, they have a right to their own opinion. They have a right to vote for whomever they wish for. They have a right to have the policies that they support. They have a right to go at the ballot paper and vote for whomever they want. And if we are being honest, guys, this is why it's a democracy. You will never find out, you know, where you had 100% of the votes going to one member of the political party. There has to be a divide. There has to be, you know, a case where there is people who are happy with the results of the elections. Then there has to be the other side of the coin where we have people who are not actually happy with the results of the election. But this year, they have taken it a little bit too far, especially family members who are punishing other family members, MAGA Trump supporters for actually not voting for their rights, for not voting for women's rights, for not supporting their values, for not actually believing in what they were fighting for. What do you think, guys? Do you think this is actually fair, especially on people who voted for Trump? Or do you think this is not a fair, you know, way to treat a family member just because they voted for someone you disliked? Is this going too far? Or is it necessary for these MAGA Trump supporters to come and find out, especially now that things are turning out against them? We have seen that also many MAGA Trump supporters actually voted for Trump without understanding a lot of his policies. They voted for mass deportation. If you ask many of them, actually, they thought the mass deportations are going to be against criminals. That's what they thought. But, you know, when the campaign was going on, Trump himself said he's going to do that mass deportation on illegal immigrant. And this is going to affect a lot of people. It's going to affect a lot of companies. It's going to affect a lot of immigrants who are doing the kind of jobs that you, an American, would not do on the other hands. You know, we are not saying these jobs are despicable. We are just saying that, you know, many Americans are picky on what they want to do, but immigrants don't have that luxury on the table. Immigrants want to make it. Immigrants want to provide food for their families. Many of them will just go into these kinds of jobs with minimum wages, jobs which are even underpaid, jobs like, you know, going to pick fruits in the farm, jobs like even plumbing, you know, jobs like cleaning toilets, jobs like being the mechanic that you need. Actually, these are the kinds of jobs that many Americans actually do not find favorable for them. And many immigrants are doing these jobs and they are contributing to the economy of the United States. And if you take out these cheap labors, you know, companies are gonna suffer, because if they are going now to pay an American to pick fruits in the farm, they're gonna have to pay them minimum wage at least, and this is gonna actually spike up the cost of these fruits. You know, they voted for Trump policies, a lot of policies that they did not understand. Guys, what do you think about this time? These MAGA Trump supporters are now finding out that family members are pissed and they have been cancelled from Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving? It's a time to share with your family the turkey, you know, and give thanks for the year. But this time around, there is no place for MAGA Trump voters. What do you think about this video, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Do you think this is fair to someone to be cancelled by their family from Thanksgiving just because they voted for Trump? Or do you think it's justified? Let me know in the comment section, and if you're new, kindly consider subscribing, like the video, and hit that like button for notification of more videos like this. Thank you, and as always guys, see you on the next episode.